Alrighty everybody, we've got a brand new kind of hunting video coming for you today. Since I can't go gold dredging for the foreseeable future, I want to put my dredge to some good use. So what I have done here, I have turned this into a coin, jewelry, and relic dredge. I only needed a little bit of modification. First thing, had to build a screen. Now this is way oversized. I like everything else, I wasn't sure exactly how big, what was going to work. I'd hate to have it be too short, so I intentionally made this thing oversized so I could figure out how big I wanted to make it after I do some test runs. Now along with that, I also made some hanging brackets so that this can hang, and I will show you how that works. Leave that there. Now this is all made out of the same 1-inch square stock. So what you do is just lift that up, and this is easy to do in the water. That just hangs on there just like that. I haven't found a permanent way to deal with this yet, so I'm using bungee cords, but they work really well, and they're cheap. So until I figure out a permanent method, I'm pretty happy with this so far. So now, and when I do use this, I just leave all the gold catching system in place, mainly because if I should happen to come across, broken gold chain, something like that, or bracelet, something that's going to have little bitty gold pieces, it's going to be really easy to catch those up there in the gold system rather than have them come down and possibly fall through. Even though that's 1/4-inch screen, something small could still go through that. Now, one other modification had to be made to the suction tube. And here you can see that. What this consists of is it's got a solid tip here, and that runs a good distance all the way up to here. And then you have to create a arm system that goes through it so that you can have some control over exactly where you're putting your suction tip at, because when you're hunting, you've got to know exactly where your tip's going to go, or you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And nice little swivel there for some comfort. And all you do is you just reach in through there, you hold that like that. That way you can control, you can detect. Now obviously this is backwards from normal because I detect right-handed, but you pinpoint, you put the tip down, suck it right up. Takes a couple seconds. And even if it's deeper, just because it's a 3-inch dredge, it brings up a lot of sand really quick. Alright, so those are the modifications to a dredge that you need to make. So now let's take it out on the water and see what she does. Okay, so that was the very first test run of the dredge that you just saw. It was real quick. We didn't find any jewelry that time, but we did recover some junk jewelry. We found some coins, and it worked out really, really well. My original intention was to throw this up on YouTube as soon as that was over, but uh, I kept wanting to make some refinements and keep working on it some more, and I had a lot of great success. All right, let me show you real quick what all that I did to it since that first part. Okay, one of the very first things that I did was I built some wheel mounts for this. Now with these wheels that I mounted on here, I don't have to take the dredge apart. It's now a one-man move system. I just leave it completely intact. One thing I did find out after a couple trial runs, these I had to buy solid inner tubes. There's no tube in this. It's a solid rubber inner core inside that, because there's too much when you turn, when these dig in and you try and turn it sideways, there's too much pressure on that. I kept having flats, and it was just a pain in the butt. But after I switched to these tubeless, I haven't had another problem. Let me show you. There is a lot of trash in this lake. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know, this isn't even, you know, a full season of trash, and these things seem to multiply. And yes, there's a lot of iron in that, but it's so easy to dredge with this thing. It's so easy to recover targets that if it made any noise at all, I went ahead and sucked it up. I didn't care, because it was just too easy. I'd hate to miss something good. Another thing really good about this system, look at all that glass. That came out of a public swimming beach. So there's a whole lot of danger right there that's been gone. And that's a good selling point when you try and talk to a property manager, as is beach cleanup, not only trash but also hazard removal. And what you don't see here is there's a whole lot of lead that was pulled out, a lot of sinkers, a lot of bullets. There's a whole lot of coins. I've already cleaned those up and dumped them in at the bank, so I don't have those to show you. One thing that I discovered is that even though I do have the SIF screen that hangs off the end, that and the pull tabs, that aluminum junk, is mostly what goes in there. Coins almost always get trapped in here. Every bit of silver or gold has been trapped in here. It hasn't ever made it down to the screen, although that doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of it. I want to keep it just because it is possible. A few coins have made it through. I think those were because I overloaded the system. It's hard to do, but you can shove that tip down into the sand far enough that you can plug it up, and you can completely fill this box with sand. And if you do that, anything that comes up while it's still filled is going to go straight out. It's not going to have a chance to get trapped. So that screen is always a good backup on top of all this stuff that it's going to catch.